Did Shedeur Sanders send a subtle nudge to the Giants to take him as the number one pick? Or was this not so subtle at all? And why are we talking about Shedeur Sanders as perhaps the pick for the Giants? Talk about it. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching the number one college football show or your 1000th and you have not subscribed, do that. Subscribe, ring the bell, like this video. There are 62% of people that watch this show that don't subscribe. And I just think that, my goodness, man, how much larger this community could be if that was such the case. Do you think Shedeur Sanders should go number one overall? Do you think he should go to the New York Giants? Neither one of those things is necessarily going to happen, but I can tell you, I think it's gonna, right? So on Saturday night, before Colorado got beat down by BYU, there was a shot of New York Giants cleats in Shedeur Sanders' locker room at the Alamo Bowl. He did not wear those onto the field, but the message was sent, right? Yes, Travis Hunter is the Heisman Trophy winner, but I am the number one overall pick. And why are we pointing out the Giants? Because they got the number one overall pick right now, right? They've won 2 games this season, but there are 4 teams, I believe, going into this penultimate week of NFL regular season play that have 3 wins. And if the Giants picked up another win, which looked like they might do, they're probably going to be in that number one slot. But I think it's more interesting to talk about what Prime had to say about this, because you can manipulate the draft process if you are that talented a quarterback. We know this because he did it when he was coming out. He said, hey, look, I'm not taking no meetings with anybody picking past 10 because I'm not gonna be there. And he was right? So he didn't have to do any of that. You didn't have to run the 40. He didn't have to give you anything that he did not want to give you because he was just that kind of talent. And we know this. Only man to play in a Super Bowl and the World Series. Also, swung the balance of power in the NFC by getting traded. San Francisco, Dallas, to say nothing of what he was doing as an Atlanta Falcon, which frankly, man, it ain't going to happen, but if Shadur was a dirty bird, my goodness, Atlanta would be so much fun. That said, it's looking like New York. It's looking like the Giants. Because I think, Shedeur Sanders is QB1 for many, and if he ain't, it's Cam Ward. And if he's still there, you go take him. I'm not really going to get upset about losing out on the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes if I can win the Cam Ward sweepstakes. And I'm not going to get upset about losing out on the Cam Ward sweepstakes if I can get the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes. I think both of those dudes are playmakers in the pocket. They are fixer field generals. You want them leading your franchise. You also want guys that have played a ton of football. I want to say we're getting into damn near 50 games that I believe that Shedeur Sanders has played, more than damn near 60 that Cam Ward has played. So you've got a lot of tread on the tires, but you also got a lot of experience. Be able to hit the ground running. They understand NFL concept and scheme. Shannon Dawson was really feeding it to Cam Ward early and often, because one of the first things that he realized is that, I can go with the whole playbook with Cam Ward. His first 11-on-11 practice, story goes that Shannon Dawson had a run play in there. And at the line of scrimmage, first play, Cam Ward audible out of it into 4 verts and threw a 60-yard seam route that was a touchdown. And Shannon Dawson said, not only do I have a guy who understands what he sees, but he is confident enough to make that change in front of me from day one. That's what you want. Shedeur Sanders, I think the one thing that holds him back is, frankly, the thing that makes him great. He is going to run around and find somebody open. Probably going to take too many sacks because of it, but he's got accuracy out his behind. He's got moxie out his behind. He wants the job. He is mature enough to be your rookie franchise player, and he's got the backing of his father, Coach Prime, who I think there's a lot to be said about that, because the marketing engine that they have built follows those dudes around. They are stars outside of college football, which is really how we know popularity is popularity. But talking with Pac-Man Jones, it was Prime who was asked, hey, who do you think, if somebody's going to go number one, right? Who would you want it to be? Where would you want him to go? So he finds out that the Giants are number one. He says, the Giants are not going to trade the number one pick, and Shadur is the number one pick. Flat out, full stop. You could see the process. You could see the plan. Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Shedeur Sanders is going to be the number one pick. You could see it, right? It's also getting to a space where after getting beat by BYU, there is a loud sentiment of people that I never heard from before that want to talk all sorts of noise about Colorado, all sorts of noise about Shadur and Travis Hunter. We even got some people that were showing up on behalf of Ashton Jeanty talking about, hey, look, he should have been the Heisman Trophy winner. I'm like, nah, not in this universe, my dog. Not in this universe. 24, 97, and 13 games is great. Barry got 26, 28, and 11. And if we added the 226 he got in the Holiday Bowl, we talking about a 3,000-yard rusher in 12 games. Get out of here. Shadur, on the other hand, I believe is a quarterback, right? Same thing, right? If you're going to value a position, you're going to value quarterback than you are more than any other position in sports, period. He is the guy. That's what you want. If you could have a great quarterback who understands what he sees, he can make up for a lot of your shortcomings. It's why many people still don't believe in the Kansas City Chiefs, and yet Patrick Mahomes just refuses to let that team lose. Like, they've been biting their nails toward the end. And even with a sprained ankle, you'd rather have him on the football field than not. That is the difference. I think that's what you get into. I also think that Eli Manning and the Mannings demonstrated you can use your family and what you know to bend this. Like, if you don't want to go to the San Diego Chargers, you ain't got to go to the San Diego Chargers. You can make them trade that pick to the Giants so the Giants come take you. I think that's what we're looking at. It's also a New York market, man. Like, that's what you want if you're prime. You want to play, or you want your boys to play, in a large metropolitan television market, because that's where your ad dollars are going to come from. That's where all the money outside of the money that you get paid by the team is going to come from. When you look around the landscape and you see which teams have the largest followings, I'm always amazed that the Jets do as well as they do, because the Jets is sorry. The Jets suck. The Jets have sucked for a very long time. And yet, because they've got a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, everybody and their mama always want to believe in the Jets. I don't understand it, right? But that said, Dallas Cowboys is America's team, and they're the most popular team in the NFL. They're the most popular team in all of North American sports, but we sorry. Sorry, I need a minute. I really want the Cowboys to not be bad. I really want the Sooners to not be bad. And meanwhile, I got to watch the New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles players. And now the Commanders is good. All right, let me, Shadur. We was talking about Shadur. We was talking about Prime. We was talking about all the good things that might happen for the family Sanders if that dude was selected by the Giants. I think it's a good play. I mean, 4,000 yards this year. He's got the single-season passing record at Colorado. He threw a bunch of touchdowns this year. I want to say 37. And then, talk about where Travis might end up. I hope Denver goes to get him, because I think that would be awesome. Because he's a better wide receiver than Courtland Sutton. He's as good a wide receiver as Marvin Mims. And you got both of those dudes going my goodness, that could be so much fun. Bo Nix throwing passes to those dudes. So I think that there's something there. I think that, yes, he's signaling, come get me, Giants. He's also signaling, come get me, Giants, if he's not the number one pick. I think that it is worth, again, stating, Deion Sanders said, New York Giants got the number one pick. Didn't know it until Pac-Man said it, but still, they're not trading away that pick. And Shadur is the number one pick. So the Raiders, they're in play. I even think the Panthers are in play. If you are a 3-12 team going into this week, you got a shot, right? Do you want it? That's up to you.